What's up, Greg?
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm all right.
That's good. Okay, we're all ready?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Hold on.
All right.
We're gonna decline it on this. Okay.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another live edition of Top Rope Report here on TikTok Live and YouTube. I'm your host, the illustrious Mr. Trivia. Joining me each week, my co-host, my tag team partner, my best friend, the best in the business, the Nugster Greg. Looks like he's got a Calvin and Hobbes shirt on, I think.
Absolutely.
Okay. Surprised I knew that, huh?
Comic strip from back in our days when people actually used to get the newspapers, and there was two parts of the paper I always read. One was the sports page, and one was the comics.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah. When I just want to let everybody know on TikTok and YouTube know that when I do my indie report today, there was a big announcement about Tough and Talented Wrestling. So I'll get to that when we talk about our when I talk about the indie show. But right now we're going to be doing our Monday Night Raw and NXT recap.
Wow, a teaser from Mr. Trivia.
So everybody, thank you for tapping the screen here on TikTok. I appreciate that.
I'm trying to get into TikTok. My tablet's not allowing me.
Oh, well, it just said Greg Chester joined, so.
Well, yeah, but it's going very, very, very slowly.
Oh.
All right. Well, welcome to our Monday Night Raw recap. And this week's Monday Night Raw took place from the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And in true Top Rope Report fashion, anything and everything Monday Night Raw. We start off with Mr. Trivia. And this week's Monday Night Raw started with John Winter, Adam Pearce in the ring, inviting the three women from last week's match down to the ring. Trev, take it from here.
Thank you, Greg. Well, Froggy Boy says Rey Mysterio is the GOAT. So, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so we started off with Adam Pearce and the three women that are going to be now involved in the triple threat match at WrestleMania. I really didn't get too much out of this in the beginning. I always like, I like it when Rhea comes out and Io Sky with the crazy thing with her.
I can't stand that.
And I really think that Bianca Belair is starting to give us little hints about possibly going heel, by the way she's been, talking on the mic and everything. And then it got into a little brawl there. But I thought it was okay. I mean, they got to the point on some things. I think it's going to be an interesting match. I think this is going to be a night one match on paper on the premium live event for WrestleMania. But I mean, it was okay. It wasn't great. I didn't think it was, earth shattering or anything. I gave it a C+.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, once again, I'm trying to remember the exact order they came down. First was Io Sky, and then Bianca, then Rhea. He once again, like you said, he officially announced a triple threat match. To the chagrin of Bianca Belair, she wasn't happy. There was, further respect given to Io Sky. She got pushed out of the way, and then she delivered a pretty vicious drop kick to Rhea Ripley's back, which thrust her forward into Bianca Belair. I mean, it was short, it was sweet, and got right to the point. With Io kind of, sending a message to her opponents that she's not going to be disrespected or pushed aside. I mean, we all knew that this triple threat, well, I say, quote unquote, we all knew this triple threat was coming and it was happening. But Yeah, I mean, I like this. I'm going to say a lot more than you. I know embarrassing for Adam Pierce, really under a lot of stress. He often talks about having to have a drink afterwards, but loving the fact that he introduced Rhea Ripley as representing the Judgment Day. I mean, right off the bat, I'm like, oh, fuck. But, you know, he got called out by both Adam Cole, Pat McAfee, and Michael Cole. But you know, I mean, once again, I like this a lot more than you. I actually gave it a B plus.
All right. Washer says, love the content. Thank you. Aiden, shout out. I'm a big follower. Thank you. Okay, guys, let's tap that screen now. Let's get them likes up there. Let's show us how much you like the podcast here.
All right. Well, after that,
Thank
we
you,
went to the first match of the evening. That was the matchup pitting Bayley taking on the Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria. This was a really good match, and you know, two things come across in a match like this is that when needed, Bayley can go with whoever at any point, at any time. At times in this match, I don't think it got the crowd reactions that I was expecting, and I think it's because the crowd didn't know who to cheer and who to boo. They love Bayley and they like Lyra Valkyria, but I don't think they liked Bayley against Lyra. You know, at one point there was a little point in there where Bayley looked like she was starting to get a little bit of frustration, especially after the match when she lost and she denied the original handshake from Lyra and then came back in and gave her flowers. And that Bayley to belly that she gave Lyra Valkyria outside the ring, I mean, that was for neither one of these girls are, probably both under 130 pounds. But that gave a nice little on the mat, the really, really deep thud. There were definitely some "this is awesome" chants in this match. I thought this was a great match to start off the show. I really enjoyed it. I actually gave it an A minus.
Oh, okay. Zoya, thank you. Shannon, thank you for joining us. And no, guys, the show's not pre-recorded. We are live. Yeah, I thought this was a really good match. It was a good way to have the first match start off Monday Night Raw. Lyra and Bayley have got a little history between them. I mean, they've wrestled each other a couple of times before. I kind of figured that, Lyra was going to get the win. And it was an enjoyable match. I mean, I really think that, in my opinion, I think they should have Lyra defending her title at WrestleMania. We don't know what's going to happen with that yet because the whole card still isn't mentioned yet. But yeah, I thought it was a good match, good way to start off Raw with matches. I gave it a B plus.
Okay. All right. After that, we then went to a 6-man tag match. Well, before that, we saw American Made backstage with Chad Gable, and showed how he couldn't perform, and he was disappointed because he had the sniffles. But we then went to a 6-man tag match where it was the LWOs, Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilder, and Dragon Lee, in a matchup against the Creed brothers, Julius and Brutus, and El Grande Americano. Trivia, you lead off for this one.
I'll tell you, every time I see that El Grande Americano, I got to laugh because, they're just playing that up really good. Yeah, I thought it was a good match. I like Dragon Lee's style. I like the LWO style. The Creed brothers, I mean, I still think somewhere along the line, maybe by the end of the year, we might see them as tag team champions. You never know. I think they're a great talent. Thank you for the rose. And I mean, I thought it was a really good match. I mean, really, I wouldn't mind seeing a match between these six guys again. So I think I think it was pretty good. I gave it a B minus.
Okay. So every time I see the Creed brothers, I really, once again, almost repeating what you said, I just wonder why they aren't doing more with them than they are. Especially Julius, he's a freakish athlete. I mean, really, if anything, Chad Gable is very comparable to Kurt Angle. But if there's somebody, to me, that's a very, 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 very close second. That's Julius Creed. His brother's the power. He's the athletic thing. I mean, Cruz del Toro, did that top rope thing where he kind of spun around like a tornado. That was pretty cool. But the match is going on really good, and then I have trouble even saying it. Grande El Americano went over to Ivy Nile and then put a piece of metal in his mask. Rey Mysterio saw something happening, got up on the ring apron, and he headbutted Mysterio, and then did a diving headbutt. No, it was a fucking big old piece of metal. It looked like he had a hockey stick in his forehead, and the referee doesn't notice it. That really took what really could have been a B plus down to a B minus for me. I hated the ending. I mean, it was a good competitive match, but I just hated the ending. So once again, I have to give the overall thing a B minus.
Alrighty.
All right. After that, we then had the ring general, I got to say it the right way. The ring general come down to the ring. I lead off for this one, so I'm just going to go right into it. And before you even say a word, Jey Uso's music hit. And he came down. There was no laughing, no eating, no bright merch. I know Pat McAfee was saying he'll eat for him as Jey Uso slowly and seriously made his way through the crowd to confront Gunther. And it was, he was sporting all black and confronted him about his bloody assault on his brother. Gunther was smiling. As Jace was coming down, he took his jacket off, he rolled his sleeves up, he was smiling from the beginning, and then by the end, his facial expression really helped that he was absorbing Jey Uso's words. So we asked him, do you have a mother? Do you talk to your mother? Well, I talk to my mother. She asked me how I was doing. I said, not good. I have a brother in bed with 15, in a hospital with 15 stitches in his forehead. And she asked me why I didn't protect you, why I didn't protect him. And he said, because I'm afraid. And then he said, you know what I realized? I ain't afraid of you no more. Before WrestleMania, hug and kiss your family. I'm going to get you. And you knew it was just this hit 200% perfectly from Jey Uso delivering this message that, you know what, I ain't scared of you no more. To the look of, once again, Gunther was smiling, he was coming down and kind of almost like laughing, and by the end, he knew, you know, he had that, you know, and the audience yells, you know, you fucked up. He had that look on his face. Loved everything about this. Really gets me definitely more interested in seeing this matchup between these two. I gave this a solid A.
Okay. Hey, Perp, thanks for joining. Cam, thanks for the roses. I appreciate that. Perp is in here, one of the big supporters of the live. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, like you said, excuse me. Thank you, Perp. Like you said, once Gunther got in the ring, you know, he really didn't say much. And as Jey Uso kept talking, you could see the expression on his face. Gunther was like, "Oh, you know, I think I really made a mistake here," you know. And what I thought was really good, the good part about the promo was you don't hear the guys mention their real names in the ring. And when he said, you know, his mother looked at him and said, "Well, why didn't you protect your brother, Joshua?" That kind of, then they showed Gunther, and Gunther had that look on his face like, "Oh shit, I'm in big trouble for WrestleMania now." But yeah, I thought this was a really good promo. Jay did all the talking, and he got right to the point. He just told Gunther, "Hey, look, you know, I'm good, Perp," and he's like, "Well, I'm not afraid of you anymore." And that hit home. And I think that this is going to be a really, really good match. My opinion, you know, I think this is going to be a war. I mean, I think it's going to be a hard hitting match. And I just thought it was really good. I gave it a B plus. Okay, Greg, thank you for the ice cream cones.
We didn't thank you for your goddamn donut earlier, so I had to send you something else.
Thank you for the donut. Perp, thank you for the hanging lights. I appreciate that.
All right. After this match, we then went to the matchup was for the World Tag Team Championships, as it was Ivar and Eric of the War Raiders taking on Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods of the New Day. Trev, you're up first.
All righty. Yeah, I kind of expected, you know, the New Day to eventually, you know, get a tag team title match. They've been asking for one. They said, you know, what do we have to do to prove that we want one? And they got one. And I thought it was a really good match. The only thing I didn't like about it was, you know, the way it ended when, you know, Ivar got caught with the chair getting ready to hit somebody, and the referee just happened to see it. I mean, I think if the New Day had the chair, he wouldn't have seen it. But I just thought that it was a really good match. Even though the New Day won, the War Raiders still retain the title, because you all know you can't lose. The title cannot change on a count out or disqualification. But yeah, I mean, the reason I gave it the B minus grade was because of the end. I didn't think it was a good ending with the chair. I thought it would have been a better ending if it was a pinfall win. And I just gave it a B minus. Thank you, Perp. I appreciate that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can't even give it that grade. I was very disappointed in this match. It was extremely short, and sorry, TikTok keeps throwing me off. So, you know, the tag division on Raw is so lukewarm that it's difficult to get excited for any matchup. It really is. When you compare it to what's going on Raw, on SmackDown, it just fails in comparison. It has nothing to do with the competitors. It has to do with the competitors. I know that sounds stupid to say that, but yeah, I mean, Eric and Ivar, they're repackaged. They're no longer, to me, they're no longer the War Raiders. The War Raiders were the evil Viking Raiders. Well, you change the personas to where they're now these like biker looking dudes. why are they still at the War Raiders? And I think this heel turn by New Day worked, but it didn't work enough. And, with the disqualification ending, and I think what made the whole thing worse, and really just hated this match, was because of that stupid fucking host of the roast of WrestleMania on April 20th. The guy just wasn't funny. And it just made his commentating just made the match miserable. So yeah, I mean, this is the second time on this show that we're a whole letter grade up. I give this a C-.
All right. Okay, guys, come on now. Let's get to 1K likes. Perp, if you're still out there, man, help us out. Come on.
After that, we then went to the final match of the evening, and it was a singles matchup between Penta and Dominic Mysterio. Earlier in the match, they had made it official that it will be a fatal four-way for Bron Breakker's Intercontinental title at WrestleMania between, obviously, the Bron Breakker defending against Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. So that's the matchup we had next, was Dominic against Penta. Well, okay, I get to lead off for this. And this was probably... this was the worst match I think I've seen Penta in since he debuted in WWE. And that's kind of big because he does amazing things in the ring. And I really like Dominic, but this matchup was just, to me, just a reason to get Bron Breakker out there to destroy everybody, but to get then taken out by Finn Balor. I just don't know. The creative for this may be underwhelming, but can anyone ensure that the payoff is worth it? I mean, we'll have to see if these four of these gentlemen together in the ring at WrestleMania, is going to do all this. I know Dominic, stole the Mexican Destroyer from Penta. I know Michael Cole said, something like, if Dom is doing it, it's a toilet destroyer. Actually, McAfee said that. So, but even that was just kind of just weird. But, after the match was over, Penta was getting beaten down, and Bron Breakker came down. And if anybody out there can do me a favor and do a wellness check on Carlito, because Bron Breakker came flying down there and launched into this man, folded him in half, and I mean, he was airborne. When he left and he hit Carlito, he nearly flipped all the way over after spearing the poor guy. And then once again, afterwards, we got the post-match beatdown, and Finn Balor was standing at the end. But yeah, I just was disappointed in this match. I actually gave it a C+.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of agree with you on certain parts of the match. The grade, I kind of have my own different grade on it. But yeah, I mean this was Ace Newman. Yeah, but this was not a regular Penta match. He didn't really look good at all. I really think that there might be a new Intercontinental Champion after WrestleMania. In my opinion, it was just something that, I don't know, something just looked off with Penta. Dominic, we really can't say enough about him. He's getting so much more better since his debut. Yeah, Carlito, I mean, I thought he died after that thing. That was just a wicked ass spear. I mean, I never seen a guy fly through the air like that in my entire life. And when you get somebody the size of Braun Breaker leaving his feet to do a spear at 285 pounds, he probably would have knocked a brick wall over with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was an interesting, way to end the matches on Monday Night Raw. I gave it a B minus.
Okay. So after that, we came back from the break with Paul Heyman in the ring. Fair. Paul Heyman closed out the show. I'll let you take it away from here.
All right. Yeah, loved it. I mean, Paul Heyman. Really, not much more to be said. Needs to be said about Paul Heyman on the mic. Him, Seth Rollins, CM Punk. They all do great jobs on the mic. They really he's getting to the point about the triple threat match. Seth Rollins comes out. Both of them. I can't say both of them were bantering back and forth on the mic. They were just, making their points. And, Paul Heyman is Paul Heyman. Seth Rollins is Seth Rollins. I just thought it was a great promo. Great way to end Monday Night Raw on the promo aspect of it. I gave it an A.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Paul Heyman came down and he was talking, and he said, "I will always be loyal to my tribal chief, Roman Reigns. I will always be loyal to my best friend in the whole world, CM Punk." Before adding that, it's just because he is loyal to both does not mean he's disloyal to either of them. And it's both very true. I mean, you can be loyal to a friend and loyal to your boss at the same time. And then Seth Rollins came down and really, really started stirring the pot. He said that, talking about how, talking about how, where were you, when, after, he helped, take the title off of Roman Reigns, he left, and did he take Paul Heyman with him? No. When he was left to work with the rest of the bloodline, was CM Punk there to help him as his kids, Jacob and Azalea had to watch you get put through a table because Roman Reigns doesn't care about you. Really, really started to stir the pot, and was teasing, saying, "I can end this for you now. I can just put you down and just one stomp away, and you won't be back for WrestleMania." And kind of offering for the sacrificial lamb. He had backed them up, and then CM Punk came out. And they got physical. A brawl ensued before Seth Rollins got the best of his rival, delivering a curb stomp to him, and then teased doing the same to Paul Heyman. And then he looked down at Paul Heyman with a microphone and said, "Now you owe me a favor." Yeah, great, cinematic, awesome.
Excuse me.
Paul Heyman, once again, we've always said Paul Heyman's great on the mic, Seth Rollins is great on the mic. You put the two together, and it's, it's great. So, I mean, I really did like this, and I gave this an A minus.
All right. So overall grade, Greg?
I mean, it's tough because there were so many great parts of this show. And matches and promos. The one bad, bad match wasn't it discounted, but the point of the fact of the matter is we didn't see either entrance for Bayley or Lyra. When they came back from commercial break, they're both in the ring. We saw a total of just under 41 minutes of wrestling, bell-to-bell wrestling, in a 2.5-hour show. I know we're building up to WrestleMania, and I really hope that once WrestleMania passes, maybe they'll start to go more towards the world wrestling aspect of it than heavily the entertainment. But I can only give this overall a B.
Okay, yeah, I definitely agree with the grade. I gave it the same grade. I think there was more, in my opinion specifically, I thought there was more low points than high points in this on this card.
Really? Read your grades to me again.
C, B plus, B, B minus, B, and an A.
So you had one low grade in a C.
Right, but I think that there was
more low grades than higher grades.
No, I didn't say low grades. I said low points for some matches.
The low point is 1C.
Well, no, not really, because I look at it as, I mean, there was mistakes. I think there was mistakes made in a few matches, and some of the matches I really didn't like. That's why I say low points.
You only... Hold on. Sorry.
That's I think that's Triple H texting Greg.
No, that's my blood glucose being only 74.
Oh, that's not good.
That's a low glucose warning.
Yes. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I gave it a B.
Okay.
All right, so that was our Monday Night Raw recap. Everybody, thank you for the 1K likes already. That's awesome. Let's keep tapping that screen. Let's get it up a little higher. Confidence advice for no self-esteem people. I don't know. I really couldn't give you any advice.
Yeah, you're talking about people here that have no self-esteem anyways. Huh?
Right. But yeah, so we're so right now we're going to go to the best part of the show. It's Nuggies News. So Greg, hey, Jay Olson, what's up? So Greg, take it away.
All right. Well, first and foremost, a couple things here real quick. Right now, it is quote unquote, we have a confirmation, and I'll say quote unquote, as to when and where the Money in the Bank Premium Live event will be this year. It is being reported that it is quote unquote scheduled for early June at the Intuit Dome in LA. I guess the only issue with the scheduling of it is the fact that the Los Angeles Clippers will be in the NBA playoffs, and if for some reason they would go all the way to the NBA Finals, that does go into June. So I could see that being the only issue with scheduling it, but right now that's what it looks like is going to be happening. Quick little news on the injury front. A lot of people speculated that Rhea Ripley may have gotten injured, maybe broken her nose or re-injured her eye socket when she took the drop kick from Io Sky into the back or into the front of Bianca Belair. It is being reported there was no such injury. If anything that looked like she may have injured herself was to sell, quote unquote, sell the viciousness of the drop kick given by Io Sky. Congratulations goes out as the WWE Hall of Fame class has gotten a little bigger. There are 3 going to be entered into the WWE Hall of Fame as legacy inductees. Amala, Dory Funk Sr., and Ivan Koloff. They will all be being inducted during the Hall of Fame ceremony, which, if you guys don't know, Triple H is being inducted. I swear to effing God, that will be one thing that I'm going to be so happy happens, because I am tired of them promoting only Triple H. Like, there's nobody else going in this year. Because every 38 seconds, they show a Hall of Fame promo about Triple H going in. Let's get on to some rumors. A little backstage update on the tension between Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton. As per Fightful Select, Charlotte Flair did not appear to be pleased at the real-life jabs Tiffany took. As it was saying that it wasn't supposed to go down that way, including that sentiment coming from staff and talent. I know a couple weeks earlier, Flair did a promo where it was, that she intentionally, Charlotte was being accused of intentionally burying Tiffany Stratton. Did a little side-by-side promo. And, it seems WWE didn't want any of the real-life drama getting involved in their segment, because in doing so, WWE in the, so they re-put it out on YouTube, and those statements that Tiffany made on the YouTube version, those references had been edited out, and was said that was after a very specific directive from upper management. So if you didn't see it on SmackDown and you go to watch on YouTube, it's like it never happened.
Okay.
Kevin Owens kind of opened up about his neck injury, and he was on a podcast held by somebody from Ringside News called My Mom's Basement, and this is what he's quoted to have said. So I know for a fact there's a specific moment, because in December I did a full body MRI just on my own for curiosity, just to make sure, to see if there's anything that I should be aware of. At the time, the report came back that my knees were shit, but I've been well aware of that for a long time, so there's no concern there. And then there's something about my spine and a mild to moderate stenosis, which for what we do, and I showed it to the WWE doctors, and for what you guys do, everyone's got a level of stenosis. Everyone on Earth walking around has a level of stenosis. So I was like, great, and I felt great. But then in January, I had a match, and in the match, two things happened that really jarred my neck. That's when the issue started. So I knew there was something, and then we ended up doing an MRI this week, and I found out, it's serious. So I think that match in January is what did it, because I had an MRI a month before, and everything was fine. So, I mean, he only wrestled twice in January, once against Rey Mysterio and Jimmy Uso on Friday Night SmackDown. And then, we had the non-sanctioned match against Sami Zayn. But he believes it happened in January. I don't know why he doesn't think it happened in that non-sanctioned match March 1st. But once again, I wish nothing but, the speediest recovery you had or can have. So, in reference to Kevin Owens no longer being on the card of WrestleMania, it brings up the question, who can face Randy Orton? So I pulled up an article that was put out, and this gentleman's suggesting 4 different opponents. So once again, in true Nuggies News fashion, I'm going to give you these 4 names, and then you tell me likelihood that this person could face Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and if they did, once again, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited would you be to see it?
All right.
First one they give, down general manager Nick Aldis.
Likelihood 2. Excitement level 4.
Okay. So in Triple H's WWE, likelihood 2 or 3. If this was Vince McMahon's WWE, I'd say 7. But excitement level, I'm gonna go right in the middle, only because it's always nice to see somebody being able to beat the shit out of their boss. So I'm gonna go right there at a 5.
All righty.
Next one, a returning Aleister Black.
Likelihood 5.
Okay.
Excitement level 7.
Okay. You know what? I can 100% agree with you right there. And yes, I will admit that I do know the other 2 names on this list. So I'm also looking as most likely of the list. And based on my scoring for all 4. Next one, Rey Fenix.
Excitement level 6. Excitement level.
Well, you said excitement level 6.
Oh, likelihood 6. Excitement.
Okay.
Excitement level maybe 6.5.
Okay. I'm gonna go lower on expected and higher on excitement. Lower, I'm gonna go 4 because he just came on the roster.
Yep.
So I think it's too early for somebody like that to earn a WrestleMania match. He hasn't been on the roster actively long enough. But excitement level, I'm gonna go 8 because I think Rey Fenix is gonna do amazing things in this ring. And then the last one they have, Karrion Kross.
I'm good. You see, the reason why I give a lot of these ones that you mentioned the likelihood of not a good grade is because nothing's going to be built up in enough time to get me excited for these matches. But this one might get me a little excited for this one. So I'm going to go maybe 7.5 for likelihood. Excitement level, I'll go the same, 7.5.
Okay. All right. So I've got a choice of one of 2. Do you want to hear about the most devastating losses in WWE WrestleMania history? Or do you want to give me your opinion on 7 names of people that are turning heel?
7 names that are turning heel.
Okay. All right. So these are 7 people that an article I pulled up that these are 7 WWE wrestlers that will, not could or should, will be turning heel. So, True Nuggies News fashion, do you agree or disagree? And how much of an impact do you think these people would be as a heel? first one they give you is Trick Williams.
Oh, I agree.
Okay.
And impact it'll have on the main. If it's on the main roster, I don't think it'll have too big of an impact. If he just joins the main roster and then goes heel. If he turns heel on NXT, then it'll be a huge impact.
Well, let's rather than impact, go with excitement. How excited would you be if Trick Williams was pushed as a heel?
8.
Maybe that's better.
8.
Okay. Yeah, I think likelihood. I think we're going to be doing our NXT preview here shortly, and I think it's already kind of written in the sand. I'm going to say likelihood 8, and I'll say excitement level. I think Trick Williams will be a better heel than he is a face. So I'll say 7. Next one, Javon Evans.
Likelihood 4.
Okay.
Excitement level 7.
Okay. I'm gonna almost agree with you here, but I think likelihood only. I'll go 3 because he's just almost too good to be a heel. Just his whole personality. I'm bouncy. The things that he does. He's too quote unquote good to be a heel. But I think this kid's got a future. I think just some of the things that he does athletically are very impressive. So yeah, I'm going to give that a 7 as well. Next one, and the rest are main roster. Next one, Street Profits.
Likelihood 8. Excitement level
Okay.
8.5. I think they're already leaning towards a heel role now as it is. So
yeah, and the only thing, I mean, likelihood. I think unfortunately I'm going to go 7, only because of the other high-ranking tag teams of Motor City Machine Guns, pretty deadly kind of being faces. So I think they might push them towards the heel. But what else does that leave you for face on SmackDown? You heel heavy then. Excitement level. I mean, I think anything, giving them more TV time. Besides the fact that they're on my fantasy team, I've always been really impressed athletically with what these two guys can do. They're only getting better.
all right, guys, let's keep tapping that screen now. There's 12 people in here. Let's go.
Right. After that, Zelina Vega.
Excitement level for me would be a 2.
Yep, I agree.
Likelihood 4.
Excitement level. Likelihood 2, excitement level.
Oh, excitement level 4.
Okay. Yeah, likelihood. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, in my opinion, it's Zelina Vega. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But I can say more highly likely than I'll say 5 only because they're gonna try something. They're not gonna, they're just bring their husband, so they gotta try and keep it relevant.
Yep.
And excitement level, I'll go 2 because I just don't think it matters whether she's a face or a heel.
Right.
I'm just not a Zelina Vega fan.
Shannon, thank you for joining.
Next one, AJ Styles.
Likelihood. I'm not gonna say a high number for this because he's getting close to the end of his career. So I think he might want to, go out on a good note. So I'm going to say likelihood maybe 4. Excitement level 6.5.
Okay. I'll go likelihood 3 because once you get later in his career, I think he could come up with better feuds, being a face, and excitement level. Once again, I'm almost the same as I am with the Street Profits, where anything that they can do with this character to get him on TV more, I think we all win in the end. So I'm going to say 7.
Okay.
2 more. Bianca Belair.
Likelihood 8. Excitement level for me would be about a 9.
Okay, I mean, I think we've already seen it. I think we've already started to see that turn where this week she came out in all black. And somebody's got to be the bad guy in this feud. I think Rhea Ripley's, whether she's hated, whether she's a heel or she's a face, she's going to get cheered loudly. And Io Sky is got to be, the face.
Yep. Jeffrey, thanks for joining.
I'm going to say 8 as well. An excitement level, only because it's kind of like a John Cena heel turn. Something we're waiting to see if it's going to happen. So I go 8 as well. And then the last one, which I'm gonna lead off with my grade before I give you the name.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say 9 and 9 because I think this person is great. I think they're arguably the best wrestler in WWE right now. And I think it's a character that it doesn't matter if he's heel or face. I enjoy watching him perform, and that's Seth Rollins.
Yes, I definitely agree with everything you said. Great as well. Great in excitement level. I think, in my opinion, I think Seth Rollins had a more successful career when he was a heel. Like you said, they've been cheering for Seth Rollins for so long and singing his music for so long when he comes to the ring. I don't think that's going to change with the fans. I still think they're going to.
I almost think that's why they turned him face. Because, at first he came out, he was singing that song to, annoy people. But then it caught on. And the fans ate it up so that they were almost kind of forced to make him a face.
Right.
And that's what I've got. That other article, definitely something that me, you, and DJ will be talking about on Sunday. But trivia. You've got some breaking independent show news. Let us know what you got.
Yes, I was messaged earlier tonight before the show came on by the owner of Tough and Talented Wrestling, Mr. Vincent Viscariello, that somebody posing as a board member of Tough and Talented Wrestling called the venue that they were going to be at in Torrington and started giving the guy there a hard time. And the guy got pissed off and said, well, if that's the case, then we don't want you guys here. So this Saturday's April 12th show has been canceled. And a June date is imminent for them. They don't know what day it's going to be yet.
So you told me originally it was scheduled the 26th and it moved to the 12th, and now it's canceled.
Yes. So as soon as I find out the makeup date, I will definitely let you people know about it. Also, we have, let's see. Okay, now Saturday, April 12th, though, we do have Coliseum Pro Wrestling, Opportunity for Success at the West Haven Elks Club, 265 West Main Street in West Haven. Doors open at 7. Bell time is at 7:30. Tickets, general admission, are $20. Once again, a fatal four-way has been signed, elimination match. Jay Champagne versus Jeremy LaCroix versus George Lawrence versus Fly Nye Noriega. And Hustle and Muscle will defend the tag team championships against Alan Bano and Sunset Steve Garcia. Friday, May 16th, PAPW will be bringing back their Friday night alley fights. And that will be at the training facility at 662 Co Avenue in East Haven, Connecticut. Also, May 10th, PAPW will have Bash at the Brewery at the Armada Brewing Company. Doors open at 6, bell time is at 7:30. Scheduled matches are Troy Stevens versus Jay Lovelace. Damian Black, a man I haven't seen on the indie scene in quite a while, will go against Mr. Z. Alan Compass and Sergeant Murray. So Sergeant Murray back in the ring for PAPW will be battling Mooch and Andy Sweet. Antonio Andolini will go against Sylvan. Mirza scheduled to square off against Jeremy LaCroix. Jekyll versus Bull Dread. Gabriel Cruz versus Kaizo. And the tag team championship match, the Bariqua brothers will battle Alan Bano and I can't think of his partner's name there. Zimmerman, Jacob Zimmerman, as known as the Brawny brothers, will go against the Bariqua brothers for the title. Also, we have Fans Bring Your Own Weapons, Outcast Pro Wrestling. Will be June 28th at the Gathering Place, 99 East Street in Wallingford, Connecticut. $15 tickets are $20 general admission. $15 for students and military, kids under 7 free. And the highlighted match that night will be wrestler 6'9", I believe he's 6'9", 460 pounds of 5150. Will be squaring off against Connecticut's hardcore icon Bull Dread. And also Outcast Pro Wrestling will have another show 2 weeks before that, June 14th in Gales Ferry, Connecticut, at the Ledyard Middle School. Richard Holiday versus Mickey Midas, Katie Lothbrook versus Aaron Norman, and Kylon King versus Danny O'Ryan. So anybody out there in that general area want to check out the best in indie wrestling, Connecticut and New England is definitely the top of the indie wrestling scene, so check it out. And that's what I have for my indie report for tonight.
Okay.
I just hope that things go well for Vinny and his crew there. I sent a message to him, saying that, let me know what's going on, when the makeup date's going to be, and if there's any wrestlers on their show that, would like to be guests on the show, let us know. Maybe we can get them to come on, talk about their careers and whatever.
All right. Good news or bad news?
Good news.
I have time for one more segment.
Okay, what's the bad news?
My sugar is at 66.
All right, go.
So, we can do one more. Well, let's talk WrestleMania real quick.
All right.
Because there are things that have started to shape up for WrestleMania. So if anybody out there was expecting to hear us talk about NXT, I apologize. Just being diabetic,
Yes.
my sugar's at 56. That's half of what it should be.
And Greg's health comes before the podcast.
So they've added another match. Nick Aldis announced it. They have confirmed Drew McIntyre taking on Damian Priest. They've also started to designate matches on nights. So right now, listed for night 1, obviously the main event of the night is Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. There are 2 matches that have been listed for night 1. One is Gunther defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Jey Uso. And the other is the WWE Women's Championship match where Tiffany Stratton defending against Charlotte Flair. Those are listed as night 1. Night 2, we have 2 matches listed. The triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. And then obviously Cody Rhodes defending his undisputed WWE Championship against John Cena. The other 7 confirmed matches are AJ Styles against Logan Paul, LA defending his U.S. Championship against Jacob Fatu, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending their women's tag team championships, and the winner against SmackDown. Ron Breakker defending his IC title against Penta, Finn Balor, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Rey Mysterio went into the office of Adam Pearce and demanded that he have a matchup against El Grande Americano, and that will be happening at WrestleMania. And then once again, Damian Priest taking on Drew McIntyre. So right now there's a total of 12 matches. So I guess my question to you is this it? Are we getting 12 matches, or are they going to add more?
Well, I would like to see him add at least 2 more Intercontinental title matches.
But so that means that you don't. So that means you don't think that there's a chance that Bayley and Lyra win the gauntlet match, and Bayley's not on, or is Bayley taking on Lyra again at WrestleMania?
I would probably say Bayley and Lyra at WrestleMania again, and then I would like. So let
me ask you, what tag team then is winning? Real quick. Well, I know Lyra, obviously Lyra and Bayley. Where the hell is it?
Mark Taylor says, "What about Chelsea Green's belt?"
So the 5 teams, once again, Bayley and Lyra, Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, Tyler Chance and Caden Carter, Efab and Michin, Maxine Dupree and Natalia, and the Secret Curtis, Alva Fire, and Piper Niven.
Well, I would say if WWE was going to put a team in there, I would probably say the best shot would be Caden and Katana Chance.
But are Caden and Katana WrestleMania? I love them. I really do. But are they a WrestleMania match?
Well, I mean, I'm only going to say I think they could be, only because I'm not saying this disrespectfully, but I don't want to see Bayley and Lyra Valkyria go for the tag team title. I want to see Lyra Valkyria defend her title at WrestleMania.
To me, there's only 2 tag teams that if I had the pen and say, okay, it's one of these 2 tag teams that are taking on Liv and Raquel. It's Bayley and Lyra. The only other one would be the Secret Curtis, and the only reason I say that is because then you're guaranteed to get Chelsea Green at WrestleMania.
Right.
Outside chance that they could do maybe Maxine Dupree and Natalia, only to get Natalia into what very likely could be her last WrestleMania. That would be the only outside shot. And the only, maybe Bayley and Lyra have a moment in their match where one of them pauses, maybe Lyra accidentally hits Bayley or something, and that could set up a matchup between Bayley and Lyra. But I just think you need to have Bayley on WrestleMania one way or another.
Okay. All right. So we're going to definitely delve into WrestleMania again on Sunday's show. We are getting close to WrestleMania. We are getting close to our prediction show. We will talk about that again. We're not sure about
Friday at 6:00.
this Friday or next Friday.
Not tomorrow. The Friday before WrestleMania.
Yeah, next Friday at 6:00 is our prediction show.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that later. We can just tell people right now.
Right. Next Friday, 6:00. Yes, Lil B, I do remember. Next Friday, 6:00 will be our WrestleMania prediction show. For you people that tune in and listen to us, if you want to throw a prediction up there to let us know who you think is going to win, I will bring it out. So, all right, Greg, well, go get yourself taken care of. And yes, all right. And I will be in touch with you later on to let me know how you're doing. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in on TikTok. So for the Nugster Greg, this is the illustrious Mr. Trivia for the Top Rope Report, saying thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you on Sunday. All right.